All right, I'm just going to go through and take you through the installation process of installing one of these screens. It's pretty straightforward. There is a little bit of soldering to do, but I'll take you through what needs to be soldered. It's pretty basic, and if you've got some basic sort of soldering skills, it should be fairly easy to do. So as you can see, this screen here has a bit of a bleed just in the top left-hand side there. So let's get it apart and get it installed. So the first thing you want to do is just remove these two screws, just one there and one there, and just get those removed. All these screws I'm about to take out are all pretty much the same. So as I said, there's 6 of them in total, but you said it's not too much of an issue if you mix them up. But just be careful when you put them back, and I'll take you through that. Okay, once you've got rid of or taken out those two screws, there's I think 6 or 7 clips. They just go along the top here. So just gently release those clips across there. There's 2 more on the side, and there's 2 down the bottom. There, 1 and 2. This slides out. Oh, okay, somebody's opened this before. But yeah, this actually is supposed to go through there. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. But at the moment, so normally you'll find this is you just slide this out basically. Okay, there's the backing of it. Once you've done that, there's 4 more screws you need to take off, which is that one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. I'll just quickly get those removed. I am putting these ones aside separately, but as I said, this you don't really need to. They're all the same, these black screws. Once you take these ones out, these 4 screws out, that'll take the front of the display out and will give you access to the actual LCD screen itself. You can even do this if you're just replacing the screen itself with another working one. So once you've removed those, this front fascia then comes off. Just take it off carefully. 1, 2. These are separate, these little plastic things, but just gently take them off with it. Put these in a safe location. Just 1 and 2. All right, once you've done that, you want to take the LCD screen off. So it's pretty easy to do. You can either just use your fingers, which can be easy, and just gently pull that up. Just unclip one side and then do the same on the other side. You can use a screwdriver if you want, but it's actually not that difficult. You can just do it with your hand if you need to. Then just pull this straight out. That just comes straight out like that. You can see from those little clips there that you just want to be pulling this straight out like that from there. And there's the screen itself. To get to this last part of the screen here, there's 2 clips, which is one there and one there. And you just gently loosen that a little bit. You can get your thumb underneath it. Just gently pry it open. Once again, just be gentle with this stuff. Once you've loosened those, the screen can just lift out. And that's the screen now. What you also need to do is remove the plastic also. Oh, and you just remove these also because you will be flipping it around a couple of times. So these just come just in the top here. So just gently remove those also. 1, 2. Okay. Once you've done that, Next thing to do is just remove the light bulb. You won't be needing that anymore because that's where the wires are going to be running through. So just gently pull that out. There it goes. Okay, so just put the screen aside just for the moment, along with the bulb. Now, next part is to essentially start soldering these little points on. So basically these 2 points here. These need to be soldered just to the side here. I might just bring this a little bit closer so you can see. Basically, that's where the light bulb is. You'll see there's 3 resistors that go across here, 1, 2, 3, and these 2 little solder joints here, or little holes here, one there and one there, and that's where you need to solder this in. I'll show you in a second. You'll be able to test this later on as well, just make sure you've made a good connection. But basically, the yellow one will go into that hole there, and the green one will go into that hole there. I've just bent these, so they weren't bent. These are just, once again, pre-production stuff at the moment. So, as I said a little bit earlier, the green one goes into. I'll just bring it a little bit closer to the camera. The green one goes into that hole there. And just, I said, they will fit. So you might need to just give it a little bit of a nudge, and it will just pop straight in there. And then next one just goes right above that, or right to the side of that there, and that just went in nice and easy. And all you want to do is basically solder just that point there and that point there. Okay, with, as I said, the green one to the left, the yellow one to the right. So let me just go ahead and do that. What you want to do is just put a little bit of flux, if you can, on the solder joint. Just put a little bit of that. Just a little bit of flux will do. Okay, just trying to line them up so they're facing that hole just there. And just make sure they're all the way in as well. Just like that. Grab your solder. And once again, try to solder those in. Don't put too much on. Okay, once you've done all that, you just want to do a continuity check to make sure that that resistor there is connected to the green pin and that resistor there is connected to the yellow pin. So I've just got my multimeter here. Once again, this is just probably more to test and make sure. Just check continuity is working. Bottom of that resistor there, the pin, yep, works. Bottom of that resistor there, the pin, yep, that's fine as well. Just cross check and make sure you haven't shorted anything as well. You should only be putting a little bit of solder on here, but yep, open circuit, which is fine. So once you've done that, it's then time to grab the patch lead and install the screen. So basically what you want to do is you just want to plug the patch lead just into the bottom. Don't have to plug it all the way in for the moment, it's just more there to keep it safe. Just make sure the black cable is as close to the it's not wrapped around and as close to the entry hole as possible. Then what you want to do is you just want to put this in place. Don't lock it in, don't slide it in there for the moment, it's just got to sit there for the moment. Grab that, run that cable through, that whole cable there, run that through that hole there. That's all your data. And then your power, run that one through also. Flip it over. Grab the two cables. That's one. And the second one is just there. Grab those two cables and plug them into the board. Now, once again, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but when you go and plug them in, those pins go to the top of the plug. So, and I would probably do the larger one first because you've got less room to play with that one. Just pull it through, don't pull it all the way through. You want to make sure they're at the top. Grab that. Just plug it in. Easy, done like that. Same thing with the power cable. Make sure the two pins are at the top. Then just plug that into there like that. Plug it in. Then what you want to do is you just want to make sure that the cables are sitting at the bottom and are not interfering with the sides at all. So just make sure they're sitting on the bottom just there and run them through. You can probably even just gently pull them through from the other end as well just to help them along. But you want that to sit nice and flush up against there like that. Grab your old that old frame in there. Once again, just gently, they've got little latches just inside there, so just pop those in. Two. And then push this in and it'll push the cable back as well as you do that. Underneath the ribbon cable. 1, 2. And that's it. Then back onto the other side. Just want to pull the green and yellow cables through now. Green and yellow cables through. Plug those into the two green and yellow pins that you've just soldered on. 1, 2. I would personally put some electrical tape or some tape around just to hold it there. It shouldn't go anywhere, but better to be safe than sorry. You can always remove the tape fairly easy, so I'm just grabbing some harness tape or electrical tape, or whatever tape you got. Just wrap that around. Don't put too much on, just want enough to hold it. In fact, I think I probably put a bit too much. I'll just cut that off there. Just make sure that it's all sitting nice and tight. And then just I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. A little bit of tape. Wrap it around. And the advantage of doing this is, as I said, if you ever want to change the screen or back or whatever it might be, that way you don't have to worry about desoldering or anything. Just undo these two bits, these two pins. You can remove the screen if you ever want to. You can just leave these here if you want. They're pretty protected, so they're not going to be touching or doing anything. So once they're done, you can put the whole thing together. So just be gentle with this. You can always pull this out now, just to give yourself a bit more leverage. Line up the bottom. As I said, this one's a bit warped, so it's a bit difficult. But just line that up through there. Slide it in. And just make sure that the cables, I'm just going to pop this back in because it's a safe place to hold it. Just make sure that your green and yellow cables sort of safely nestled behind there. So they look fine as they are. Slide that in. This one's a little bit stubborn because this thing's warped. Once that's in, then you can go ahead and start clicking in all these. That's it, all clicked in. If you want at this stage, you can probably go ahead and test it, which is probably what I recommend doing. Pop in the car, just make sure everything works, and then go from there. Okay, I've just tested out my test bench and everything worked perfectly. Before you put everything back together though, just give, probably a good opportunity that you got the dash out, just give everything a good clean. So just with some multi-purpose cleaner, just make sure everything's nice and clean and tidy. You don't often get a chance to pull these things apart, so just make sure the insides are clean and everything as well. So just give everything a good clean. Okay, so once giving everything a good clean, and just it's probably just worth noting those little holes in there tend to get really dirty. So just basically what I did with this is I just popped it in some warm soapy water and gave it a good clean and rinse, and away it went. It came up quite nice. But once you've done that, just basically put everything back together. That just goes over the front there, and then from here, all you need to basically do is just return the 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, and then for this one here, just remove this plug. And just once again, just word of note also as well, these plugs, if you need to remove them, just kind of jiggle them from side to side. Be gentle with them though, and then you should be able to get them out. And when you do plug them in, just make sure they click in also. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Once they're in, just plug everything in. When you do put the screws in also, this is really soft plastic, is just reverse it out a little bit until you feel it sort of click, and then you know you're in the groove, and just gently screw it in. You shouldn't feel too much resistance when doing this, and don't do them up too tight. It's the same thing with this one here. Just gently reverse it out a little bit, just gently. I'm not putting any force on this at all. I'm just twisting it backwards until I can feel it sort of fall into the groove. That's it. It's in. Just make sure this is plugged in. nice and firm. And just check and make sure it's locked in, which it is. Just testing the car. The only other thing I'll say is, like, when you install this into the car, and I might do a video on that later, but just make sure this is pushed all the way to the side. You want to have this green cable here tucked right in the side, and I'll try and get some photos of that shortly.